Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. I'm really excited to be joined by unbeaten British and Commonwealth light welterweight champ Akeem Ennis Brown. How you doing, mate?
What's going on, my brother? How are you, man? You right?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, really good to have you on. Appreciate you taking some time of your day to come on. Let's then talk a little bit about. So first of all, you got out once in 2020. Obviously, notched up the British title. Really impressive performance. The Commonwealth and British title you won
Yeah.
against Philip Bowes, and a very, very good and impressive performance, as I said. COVID, how's it affected you at all in terms of training, etc.? Because I know you're an elite athlete, and I know that you can go to the boxing gym, etc. But all the extra stuff around that you normally do, strength and conditioning, etc. How's it affected you?
um, it's obviously we got like certain other gyms you can't go. Like, ain't been able to get no swimming in. I got another strength gym. I've still got like been able to use strength at my gym because we got like a strength department, but we had normally have like another strength part we go to. So like little things like that, you know what I mean, where it's been closed due to COVID. But apart from that, it's not really too bad. Like I was talking to, it's funny. I was talking to someone today in the gym, and they saying like I was saying the first lockdown had like more of an effect than this one, if you know what I mean. And I think, and then even person I was talking to, they said they're like, oh, that's probably because the first lockdown you didn't have nothing to focus on. And I say with a lot of people are finding lockdown hard. I think it's due to them not having something to actually put their mind on and focus on. But for me and like I say, elite athletes, being in a gym, allowed to train, um, allowed to we knowing that you got fight dates ahead of you, you know what I mean, regardless like with lockdown or not. So I think that's managing to keep my mind sane and keeping me okay compared to where the first lockdown was kind of sending me a bit crazy. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I also saw that you did a little bit of training up in Wales just before the turn of the year. So in December, I think it was. How was that? How was that experience going up to Wales?
It's cool. We go to Wales all the time. Like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
St. Joe's, we always go out there. We're always traveling around everywhere for sparring and training in different places. But like Wales, St. Joe's, Newport, that's like our second home anyway. Like, you know what I mean, Tony Borg, all the guys down there, you know what I mean, great sparring. The good thing about where going down to St. Joe's, you can go down there and then you don't even know, like different days they would have like loads of people coming from all different places, you know what I mean? Like a hub for like loads of people to go for sparring. So you're always gonna get great sparring, not just with the fighters in the gym, but you're gonna meet other fighters. So yeah, man, like love going down there and getting it in and
Mm.
mixing it up.
I'm assuming that uh, you're like a sponge. I'm assuming when you go and spar against all these different people, you're picking up little things and seeing
Hundred
how you can
percent.
improve your game constantly, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's what you gotta be. Like, you
Yeah.
always gotta be trying to learn, improve. And that's the thing. Like, it don't matter if I was sparring someone not as good as me. It don't matter if there was people in the gym what was not as good as me. Like, you can
Mm.
always learn and pick stuff off of anybody. You know what I mean? And that's what you gotta be. You gotta be like a sponge. That word you use as sponge. That's the right thing. Some people like they start off as sponges and then they get to a point where they think they're too good to even learn anymore. That's never been me. You know, I feel like you can never stop improving and learning. So I love going around and pick up new things. And I think that's the thing what's gonna make me become the ultimate fighter. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great outlook to have because, as you said, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You can always improve. Even if it's
Yeah.
little bits adding to your game. So that's a really great attitude to have. So, props to you. Okay, let's get down into a little bit of the nitty and gritty. So I'm going to ask you
Ooh, let's
straight.
go.
So European champ Sam Maxwell? There's been a bit of back and forth between the two. He was actually on here as well on my channel, and he said that you guys will be fighting next. Are you on the
Yeah.
same thinking then? He's next.
Yeah, he's next. He's next. He's the one. He can get it next. He's the next victim. Yeah, definitely.
Next victim, yeah. Okay, cool. I don't want you to get too technical into it because I don't want you to give a game plan away, etc. Because it looks like you guys will be fighting next. But in simple terms, when you two get into the ring, what happens?
I'm gonna punch him up. Literally, I'm gonna punch him up. As simple as that. Like I can't really see how else to say it. Like I'm gonna punch him up and win and be victorious on the night, and that's really it. I mean,
Okay.
straightforward, right?
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. As I said, I don't want you to touch Georgia, but is there anything specifically, not just to Sam Maxwell, but in general, in this kind of off period you've had since your last fight that you've been working on, that you're thinking you're trying to add to your game? Whatever it might be, whether it's movement or maybe a bit of power, etc. Whatever it might be, is there anything specifically that you've been trying to work on that you can implement?
Well, you're always trying to learn new things. Like
Yeah.
I said, always trying to improve and become the better fighter. So whether I had Sam Maxwell in front of me or I had no one in front of me, I'd always be trying to be working on new stuff and becoming a better fighter. So yeah, I'm always learning and working on stuff. Definitely.
Yeah. And just to touch upon quite briefly, how did you get into boxing? How did you get into the game?
First, wow, it's weird. Like my older brother, like he's big into his combat sports and stuff. My brother Shug. So from the age of like 4, he used to like train me up, whatever, train to get me like, you know what I mean, we used to watch a lot of Rocky. So I think it was kind of Rocky that gave me the love of the sport, man. I love Rocky, big fan of Rocky, you know what I mean? I'm big fan of the underdog going up and achieving, you know. So yeah, I think that was the main thing that gave me the love from it. And from then, my brother was always training. And as you get older, like I didn't really have the conventional, the conventional starters like all these other fighters. You know what I mean? Like all these other people have their dads or uncles bringing them down to the gym from a young age. That was never me. It literally me and my brother sparring in my mum's living room. Before we even knew about boxing gloves, we used to put socks on our hands. You know what I mean? Yeah, probably why I got a hard head. You know what I mean? So literally, from then on, he used to get me like as I was getting older, he's getting me people around the neighborhood to spar. You know what I mean? Like always older people to spar. Then as I getting older, you get me his friends. His friends would come around when they would all be chilling, playing games. He'd be like, oh, spar my brother. They put little bets on whatever. I didn't really know they were playing bets, making money on me. But me, I just loved the fact that I was getting people to spar and testing and learning new things. So that was me when I first honed my skills. Then by like the age of 14, I first walked into like John Pittman's gym, Fight Factory. Linked up with my guy down there. We both just hit it off straight away. You know what I mean? He was like, you got so much potential. You know what I mean? You can go do amazing things. And from a young age, I think it was like, I don't know, it was great to hear someone say that to you, like, right, like, you know what I mean, you could go so far. And I felt like to be a boxer, it was like this big old thing, whatever. But he simplified it so much to me that if you just keep coming, keep working, you'd be surprised how far you can go. So that stuck with me, and I said, you know what, let's keep going. And from there, I never looked back, never looked back.
That's really interesting too. I love the story, the part where you talked about you and your brother fighting with socks on your hands, as if the socks are going to make a difference. Like
nah, literally, like, you get like a ball of socks, roll them up, put them in the socks, roll it on your hand, and like that was it. But literally, I think when I look back at it now, that's so like crazy. You know what I mean? Like I would have wanted someone hitting me now with the socks in my hand to get that. But I think that's probably why I got like a hard head. I can take a shot. So who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, longer. I guess further down the line, you know, as you move up the levels, you might think, oh, maybe that did help me. You know, I could take a shot well. Yeah. So in terms of your, you know, as you said, you went to the gym and they said, you know what, you've got that ability, you can go really far.
Yeah.
What kind of percentage have we seen from you so far? Let's say 100% is your full potential. What have we seen so far from you?
Probably 20%.
20%. Okay, wow.
Literally. Every fight, I'm trying to up it a bit more, learn more, and give a bit more to the fans. But I feel like only 20%. I think that the fans ain't even been able to see the best of really yet. Like, but they're gonna come, and that's why I love the fact of like fighting like people like Sam Maxwell, because I've always said it from a long age. Even my coach said it, like the better the opponent brings out the best in me. So that's why I love taking on hard fights, hard challenges, because I want to let the public be able to see the best of me. Whenever I fight like journeymen or people who can't fight, people who can get bowled over easy, and never really bring out the best in me. I probably have worse performances, you know what I mean? But whenever someone with a challenge in front of me, the best comes out. So that's why I love the point of Sam Maxwell. I feel like the public are gonna get to see a lot more of me, and they're gonna love it. When they see what I'm really about, they're gonna love it.
Okay, no, that's really interesting. There are, and there's quite a few fighters that say what you say, that when the level of opposition gets higher, then they elevate their game to that person.
100%.
So yeah, I guess it's taking you on a good challenge, and it gets that adrenaline pumping, doesn't it?
Yeah,
think,
like
you need a little bit of fear.
100%. Like it's boring when you're fighting nobody. Like, you know what I mean? If someone you know you could win, like I never really shine on that because it's so boring. It's like, oh, we just know how it goes. But when you got someone like, yeah, they're gonna bring it, and like someone who's a good fighter, good fighter, like I love to see, and it's about testing yourself as well. Like I like to test myself, know how good I am. So yeah, like, I love it, man, and that's what I'm saying. That's why Sam Maxwell is a perfect opponent for this stage in my career now. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I really look forward to that. Your division, to be fair, is pretty stacked with a lot of fighters, not just worldwide, but from the UK. I mean, you've got yourself, Lewis Ritson, Robbie Davis Jr., O'Hara Davis, you know, Tyrone McKenna, Jack Catterall, Josh Taylor. So, I mean, you know, who's obviously at the high, the elite level, Josh Taylor at the moment. But these guys, I mean, it's funny. I've had, I think, so yourself, you know, Sam Maxwell and Tyrone McKenna, I've talked to them all, and they said, you know, the division is really hot, you know, in the UK at the moment. Do you have a path plotted? Because obviously you're saying Sam Maxwell next. You know, God, when you come through that, say you come through that fight, which I'm sure you're 100% backing yourself to do, and then you've got
100%.
the British, Commonwealth, and European. How long is it until you're looking at world honours and looking to kind of challenge for that?
Well, this is the thing. You got to remember, Sam Maxwell's not the full European. You know what I mean? Champion. He's not the full. I class the WBO Europeans, the IBF European title like I got. I class them as half the title. You know what I mean? Like the half. So, really truly, it's like, don't get me wrong. They're still good bouts to have, and they give you rankings, whatever. But that's not the full package, the full European. So it's either for me a route. I don't really. Obviously, I'm not looking past Sam Maxwell, and it's a case of sitting down with the team and seeing what makes sense. But obviously it's simple. The two routes they always go is either you go down the real European route or you go down the international route. You know what I mean? To me, it's just whichever gonna either make more sense. Whatever makes more sense, give me the best preparation before I get to world level. Then I'm down with, But obviously sit down with the team, see what happens, and then yeah, let's go. Like you say, domestically in the super lightweight 140, there's a lot of great fights and great matchups. So whichever way I go would be great, and I'm open for any fight. So yeah, like as long as it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. There's loads of great fights to make. So let's say 2021, there's that Sam Maxwell fight. How does the rest of 2021 look like for you? What have you got anything in your mind that you're looking to have, say 2-3 fights, and are there any people that you might have in mind? What are you looking at? Do you know?
I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Just the biggest names in boxing. That's what I want. The biggest names. So who's big names? Like literally the only two big names I can really see right now. Because like you say, the people at the top are filled. Like you got Josh Taylor. He's busy doing his thing, and then he's gonna move up to
147.
move it to welterweight. Ashley wins, and I believe he's going to win and then move up. You know what I mean? So when that happens, you got Jack Catchall, but he's next in line for a shot of the world title. So I don't think he'd be giving up taking no risk anytime soon. You got Hara, where he just come out of the golden contract and he's gonna be busy going to America doing his thing, and that's my boy. McKenna, who knows what he's gonna be doing next. So really to me, when I look at it, to answer your question, when I look at it, the only people that really leaves is either going international route, taking off someone world ranking like Lewis Ritson, something like that, or going down the European route and then fighting a Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin, he Spanish fighter, so Spanish European champion, Spanish fighter. Just signed with Matchroom, so it's a great thing that he signed with Matchroom. So you know what I mean, that's now he's gonna be probably fighting more UK based. So yeah, that would be probably the two options. But to be honest, none of that really make sense or don't really matter till I deal with Sam Maxwell, who's in front of me. So once dealing with him, then you can sit down with the team and say which way you want to go about it. You never know. Like I said, it's all about development for me before I get ready to go into world level, fight for world title. I'm not saying that if someone just offered me, phone me up, say, yo, do you want to fight for world title tomorrow? I'm not saying I wouldn't take it. I'll be down for that. But obviously that's not going to happen. So all you can do is get the best preparation you can. So I don't want the best fight. So whoever makes sense, I'm down with.
No, that makes sense. I guess you need to, as you said, sit down with the team, and I'm sure they'll be plotting, how you can get fights that will put you in really high ranking positions in certain governing bodies, so that then you can then push to that world honors, as you said, and get yourself in a position where, you are pushing for that and you can't be avoided. If, I'm sure people won't be, but if anyone is, they won't be able to.
Yeah.
So at the moment, your main focus, as you're saying, is at 140. Obviously, you're not going to be 100% sure, but long term, do you see yourself moving up in weight, etc.?
Obviously, as I keep growing, and I can't make the weight, then yeah, I feel like I'm young, so I make the weight pretty easy. You know what I mean? I feel like as you get older, it's harder to make the weights for people. So I think older people find it really hard to make the weights. But for me, I make it easy, but till it comes to a point like me and the team sit down and say, you know what, you ain't making the weight great no more. You know what I mean? I think it's time to move up. Then yeah, definitely. But I'm not one of these people that feel like just moving up for the sake of it without naturally growing into the weight and doing it the right way. So, but definitely, yeah, like I'm gonna always keep growing in it. So yeah, 100% I see myself going up to welterweight eventually. Just when the time's right. You know what I mean? When the time's right, then definitely do that.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You said that Josh Taylor, you think he's going to beat Jose Ramirez?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think he's going to win that? Because that's potentially going to be a very, very big fight for, undisputed fight this year. And Josh Taylor being the UK fighter, Jose Ramirez, they've got 2 belts each. What do you see then in Josh Taylor that you think, you know what, he's going to win that one?
I'm biased. Like I said, I'm biased because like he's a local fighter from like us, and at the same time, I've sparred with him. So when I sparred with him, I've seen he's a great fighter. He gave me the opportunity to spar with him. A great guy. You know what I mean, so like, I appreciate that. Mad respect for Josh Taylor for giving me the opportunity to spar with the world champion, whatever. But yeah, like seeing him, I've been up close and personal, and yeah, I feel like he has the tools to go deal the business. You know what I mean, go do the business, move up to welterweight, and give some of them big boys, you know what I mean, a crack for the money too. So. Yeah, like I don't know, man. My money's definitely on Taylor, man. Definitely on Taylor, and I hope I'm right, but I believe I will be right, and I believe it'll be successful in the night.
Nice. That sparring, I guess, Josh Taylor, as you said, unified world champ, unbeaten. I mean, he's seen by some to be in that top 10 pound for pound list now. That's how highly he's rated by a lot of people. So let's just very briefly just touch upon that experience then. So you must have learned a lot from that.
Yeah.
And how was it in terms of sparring? Were you looking at that thinking, okay, picking up things, as you say, you're a sponge, you're picking up things, but you're also thinking, okay, maybe at the moment he's probably going to move up, but later down the line, you want to. That gave you the hunger to want to say, you know what, I want to compete at that level at some point.
I've before even sparring him, I've always had that hunger to want to compete at that level. That's why I want to get in there with world champions. Like I sparred loads of world champions in my time. You know what I mean? So I've always known, because I can hold my own with world champions. I've always known I can get to that level and be at that level, and I deserve to be at that level. It's just going out there and proving it first. You know what I mean? To the public. You know what I mean? On the big stage. But yeah, like it's great. You're always learning, and that's what I love about it. Like sparring people way ahead of you, above you, you learn so much of them, so much stuff, and I don't know. It's just all about experience. I didn't get the biggest amateur background, but so all these people like I said, I didn't have the conventional start like these other people. I started boxing with my brother, started amateur boxing like at like age of 16. But I first went to the gym at 14, started amateur boxing at 16. And then turned pro at 19. So it wasn't really long, proper like how the other people. But like I said, that didn't really matter because pro and amateur is different. I feel like you can learn on the job in the pros. So for me, it's about getting at world level sparring, taking on these hard fights and gaining all the experience and learning as much as you can on the job before getting to the big stage. You don't want to get to the big stage and not be prepared, ready, and then just fall short. Because once then it's all over, you know. But I feel like the way we've done it is great. And it's going to show, you know what I mean? It's going to show, like someone like Sam Maxwell, he's had the amateur background, done it all that way, the hard, long amateur, shined in amateur, done his thing. I haven't. We're both 14-0, and they're going to prove and show, and it's going to show who's done it the right way, whose way is more efficient. The guy had the amateur start, great amateur start, and done it that way, or the guy learned on the job, you know what I mean, in the pros without it. And I think that's what makes this fight so interesting for the fans and the public. So it's going to be a great fight, great crack fight either way. But I feel like my way going to be the one that succeeds and prevails in the end.
You're selling it really well. I'm definitely salivating here for that fight. I'm waiting for it. I'm thinking in my head, actually, he's got a really good point here. There's two different people, same records, but the background's very different, as you said. He's got that amateur pedigree coming from the GB squad, and you've done it a less conventional way, as you said. But you still come up and you're learning on the job, and you're both at the same point in your careers now. So it's just thinking about, you've come both to a head, and it's gonna be such an intriguing fight to see what happens in this. I can't wait for that fight. I've got a couple of more fun questions. If cool, you're okay to answer them.
Fire away.
So the division below you at the moment is on fire, right? So as you've got your Teofimo Lopez's, you've got your Ryan Garcia, obviously performing really well. You've got Devin Haney, and you've also got Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko obviously there. Teofimo Lopez said at some point, right, he's going to move up to 140 probably at the end of this year. So he's going to look to, in his words, clean up at 135, even, and then move up to 140. I'm assuming you've seen him fight. What do you think? Do you think he can do well at 140?
I think all them guys could. You know what I mean? I think all them guys could, as long as they do it in the right way, right time, bring all the power up with them, the strength with them. And of course they could. I don't know, it's mad, man. That lightweight division is the weight below us is firing, isn't it, man? Like it's on the world scene. Like I said like this. I said the super lightweight is firing domestically, but then when you move down to lightweight, I think the lightweights are like firing on the world scene. You know what I mean?
But they're all going to move up. The great thing is that they're probably going to, because they're all really young, right? Like yourself, but some of them even younger. They're going to move up. They will. They will.
I want them to move up because this is what I'm saying. For me, it's like, if I'm gonna get to world level, I want to be on world level with some great names. Great names, people can make some great fights and make some great money, So that'd be lovely. It would be great if they all can move up right now. You know what I mean? All of you come up to 140 right now, and it'd be perfect, But obviously, the best of them who's gonna prevail are gonna come up. But Tia Lopez, he's great. Tank's great. Ryan Garcia's great. Haney's great. I think this is the thing with it. It's like you can't really pick them all. But what I say is, you got they've all had defining fights. The only one what hadn't is Haney. So I say he needs that breakthrough fight next. Like really, you know what I mean? And then you can kind of then make your judgment on all of them. But I feel like you got Tank. He did great against. Obviously, when you got that vicious uppercut on the Santa Cruz. You see Ryan Garcia obviously just dealt with Luke Campbell the other day, and then obviously you got Tia Lopez who beat obviously Lomachenko. Was meant to be great. It's like pound for pound of all of them, innit? So it's just literally down to Haney next. Haney for Eddie Hearn to get Haney a great fight. and then we can proper start seeing. And then, but to be honest, I feel like regardless of that, yeah, even to get great fight or not, I think the audience needs to fight each other.
Yeah.
Give the fans what they want, fight each other, and then that would make that would do so much for boxing. You know what I mean? They all fight each other. It would be like back in the old days, you know, where like the Leonard days or the Ali days, where people used to all fight each other. You know what I mean? All of them. That's what we need. We need a bit more of that. And I feel like that's kind of a bit like what I've done. You know what I mean? Like when I come up, I took hard fights, trying to fight all the people domestically, all my people around me. I ain't trying to dodge no one, duck no one, avoid no one. I'm ready to fight anybody. If you're in front of me or behind me, whatever you're calling me, whatever, let's get it on, you know? So I feel like that's what they need to do as well. I feel like a lot more fighters, all through the weights, all through the division, should do something like that as well.
Yeah, I agree. And that Gervonta Davis fight against Santa Cruz was 130. So I think he's only had one fight, 135. But it just shows how highly rated he is. Like he's coming up to 135, but people are putting him in that mix because he's obviously a multi-weight world champion. And you know, the point that you made about the best fighting the best is so true because as fans, like I can speak as a fan, that's what you want to see. And Teofimo Lopez made a really good point after the Lomachenko fight, and he said something similar to you. He said, which is quite interesting. He said, everyone wants to make Money Mayweather money straight away. Yeah. But what they forget is that you have to be Pretty Boy Floyd first, right? And Pretty Boy Floyd fought the best, and not for those millions and millions of pounds or dollars.
100%.
And then he had to go through that route first, prove himself, and then once he did, he could say, look, you know, I've beaten the best, or I have been beating the best. I've been fighting, taking all the hard fights. Now I'm at that level. Now I can demand it. And that's what he said. And I think that was a really, really good point that he made. And for someone young like him and also yourself to be saying that is really refreshing to hear, because that's what you want to hear, right? You do the hard graft early doors and then you reap the rewards later, and that's how it is. So
100%.
I agree. So then actually those guys, if I give you two fights then off the top of my head, I just wanted to get your opinion on it. So Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, that was to happen this year. Who are you backing?
I haven't seen enough of Devin Haney. So I'm saying I haven't seen enough, so I can't really give a proper answer on him. I've just seen a bit of him who he's fighting, like fought. But I need to see him like against a 50-50 fight. You know what I mean? Someone you couldn't really say, I don't know if you've got this one or not. I haven't really seen that just yet. And to be honest, I've seen more of all the rest of them than Haney. Not that I don't favor Haney, but I probably might even watch him tonight. I need to watch some more of him so I can give you a better answer. But yeah, so off the back of that, like I would like to say, obviously, because I've seen Ryan Garcia and I've seen Ryan Garcia like it's a good package. I would have said Ryan, but to be honest, like people who have watched Haney, a lot of them are all reaching for Haney, so there's got to be something about this Haney guy. You know what I mean, he must be the real deal as well.
Yeah, so I think he's a very technical fighter. I think whereas Garcia's got the quick hands and he's maybe not as technical, but he's got that X factor because he's the Oscar De La Hoya type, isn't he? He's good looking and he came up and he's very like boyish charm and he's got those quick hands which everyone loves to talk about as well. So I think they're very different fighters, but I can see why you're saying that. But maybe two fighters that you're more, I guess, you know a bit better than Teofimo Lopez and Gervonta Davis. What do you think of that fight?
Ooh, I'm going Tank.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Tank. So I'm going Tank. I don't know. I feel with Tank, Tank could improve a lot more. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he got a lot more he could be improving on. So it's just a case of if he's still improving. But what I like about him is he got the power and he got the technical ability. When I first used to watch Tank, I used to think he was just a powerhouse. You know what I mean? So I never really used to rate him too much. I thought, oh yeah, you can bang, but you meet a boxer, whatever. Then I started watching him closely and actually watching him a lot more. The guy's got boxing skill. He's got a boxing brain. You know what I mean? He can do stuff whatever people can't. I watched him in sparring and stuff like that. Like not being there, but I mean, I watched him on TV and sparring and stuff like that, or like on YouTube on him sparring and stuff. And yeah, man, like he's a technically good boxer as well as can bang. So he's got the full package to a degree. He just needs to improve on that, I would say, from my opinion.
Okay, that's a really interesting point. I agree with you in terms of your assessment and saying that a lot of people used to think that he could just bang, but he's got a lot more to his game, I think, as you said. Yeah, 100%. And then I guess lastly, to touch upon the last matchup, the one that everyone in the UK wants to happen, which everyone's saying is 99% done. You know, it's going to happen. Hopefully it does, fingers crossed. AJ versus Fury. How do you think that's going to go if that happens this year, hopefully?
I don't know. Like, it's weird, yeah. It's weird. I'm on the fence for that one. I can't lie. I'm on the fence for that one. Yeah, I'm sitting on the fence. They both like it's gonna be a great fight, yeah, because it's like they say stars make fights, so I feel like that's gonna be great. Obviously, you've seen that Fury, he dealt with Vlad, he dealt with Wilder twice technically. So yeah, Fury's got like a lot of to his game, technical boxer. But to me, I feel like AJ's probably has had the harder upcoming. You know what I mean? I think people forget. Like people like to like slag off AJ, say, "Oh, he's just this. He ain't that great." But I think a lot of people say that don't really know boxing, because if you actually know your boxing, you know that there's not many people who are from like under 25s fight world titles and do it, like, you know what I mean, and move it that way. Like that's not an easy call to do, when you got to show the level he's fighting at. To other people who don't know boxing, it's like he's just bowling over just anybody. But really, if you actually know the people that he's bowling over are great fighters, and he's fighting them early on in his career. So for me, he's had the harder start than Fury.
Yeah.
He's done it a lot quicker than Fury. But Fury, to the eye, looks like the technical boxer. But at the same time, I think a lot of people forget that the Fury back in the day, like, you know what I mean, right at the start, he wasn't like, he wasn't doing as great as he did. You know what I mean? Like, not that he did great, but people didn't think as highly as they did back then as they do now of him. But obviously, since beating Wilder or whatnot, then, you know what I mean, now they give him his respect. So yeah, Fury's a great fighter. Age is a great fighter. I think they're both great for boxing. And I think what we got here is a case of like, see, like a lot of people, this thing about it, yeah, Steve. I go back to this touch upon the Stars Make Fight. Fury beat Wilder with ease. A lot of people think Wilder would smoke AJ, you know what I mean, because he got the power and whatnot. But I believe, yeah, that there's a chance that AJ could beat Fury, and it could have a free round, like, you know what I mean, like, you know, like a bit like a Ollie could beat Foreman, Fraser was a bit on Ollie, Foreman that was Fraser, you know what I mean, like Stars Makes Fight. So I believe we might have a little thing like that, like, so who knows?
Hopefully, as you said, right, you want to see the best find the best. So I think that they're talking about 2-fight deal. I think the first one will probably be in the Middle East, because, you know, with COVID, everything here in the UK, it's not great. But hopefully the second fight will be here, and, you know, I'm sure you'll be trying to get there and see the fight, and I will be, and
100%.
I'll probably be less likely to get it, but I'll try my best.
Definitely, man. Should they announce that? If they can announce that, and there's, like, you know what I mean, it's easy to get flights over to whatnot, I'd be definitely trying to head over there and get a fight, or whatever it is, cost it. Like, you know what I mean?
It's huge, right? It's huge for the UK. It's like it's probably the biggest event since England winning the World Cup, like the Football World Cup in 1966.
It's a bit annoying though, isn't it? It's annoying that it's not a British. Well, they're talking about it's not going to be in Britain.
The first one,
forget COVID or whatever. I mean, but if it could be in Britain, that'd be great. So what are they saying? What, the second one's going to be in Britain? They're saying.
So basically, because what they were saying is the promoters were saying that realistically, even if it wasn't with COVID, they're saying that because in the Middle East there's so much money, like they would. They're basically saying like, okay, you can earn 100 million from the Middle East, or you could earn 50 million from the UK. And they're saying, well, the fighters are obviously going to take the 100 million, right? But then for the second fight, they're saying, I guess once they've got that money, both of them, they'll probably be more inclined to come to the UK and then put on a show, and also the fight will be big as well. The second fight, even bigger probably, and then they can pack out a Wembley or a Millennium Stadium or Principality Stadium and do it here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get at least one of them here. That would be good.
No, that'd be decent. If they could do that, they could do that. That makes sense, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people would probably travel and stuff like that. That'd make a lot of sense. They could do it like that. That'd be great. It's a bit of a shame that it's not in the British. You got undisputed 2 British fighters, and it's not in Britain. But I'm not knocking them. A lot of people I've seen online, people are like, oh, they're so greedy. They care about them. Well, what do you not? Like, you know what I mean? You work your whole life to get to this point. You might only get one defining big money fight, and take it. Like, I can't not take it, man. Life changing money. Of course, you gotta go do it. It's best for you and your family. That's what we get in this sport for. So, man, props. And whichever way it is, though, I'll be watching anyway. So, yeah.
No, I agree. It's hard, right? Because people like myself who haven't been in the ring, and all these guys saying, you know, they're being greedy and, you know, they're doing it. But the issue is that they haven't been in the ring themselves. So you can't judge, you know, how much these guys work, like you guys work, in terms of the gym and the dedication you put into it. And realistically, you are risking your life really every time you go in the ring, because, you know, you're getting. It's funny. Someone said to me, I heard a boxer say it. I think it's Tony Belly said, you know, a boxer likes getting punched in the face or likes fighting, right? He said, you have to have at least like a one screw loose to really enjoy it. Like a normal person isn't going to be like, I want to go and fight, but it takes a special type of person to do it, right? And that's fair enough. And I think that's what people forget, that this isn't tennis or football or you know, cricket, where you can play and you're not really in danger really of getting hurt, whereas boxing is. So people need to be more aware of that and think, actually, look, if they want to make more money from it, then fair play to them and it's up to them. So I completely agree with you. Before we wrap up, actually, outside of boxing, what are your hobbies? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Me, I like banging Xbox sometimes. You know what I mean? I like playing the Xbox. You know what I mean?
What games?
At the moment, I don't know. You know, I haven't. To be honest, I haven't had where we've been in camp. I haven't really managed to find the time to play it a lot. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I play games a lot. But I bought two new games. I bought the new Dragon Ball Z game.
Oh wow.
I still haven't even opened it and played it yet.
Well,
So it's like,
Dragon
I
Ball
need
Z
to get.
Kakarot, is it?
Yeah.
I'm a
Like,
massive
bro, I've
Dragon
still
Ball
got.
fan. Yeah.
I said I literally same. Me too.
Yeah.
Nah, so I literally. So I'm gonna try to get on that this week sometime. I bought the Assassin's Creed game the other day, but I've only like played it once. So I'm gonna try and find some more time to get on the Xbox a bit, like with the boys and that. But apart from that, you know what I mean. I don't mind just play with my son a bit, chilling, play with my son.
Nice.
Going out, play with my bro. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. Like I'm a family man at the end of the day, so I like just kicking it and chilling and stuff. So yeah, boxing's life, man. Boxing's life. So even though it's a job, it's still my hobby. It's my hobby too.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
a lifestyle,
So
isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Man.
No, respect. Being a family man as well. Like, I can relate as well. I'm a bit of a family man myself, so no, I respect you for that. And it's I love it when people are I'm a little bit older than you, but you know, being a big Dragon Ball fan, I get a bit excited. My little kid in me, he's like, oh yeah. Like, I don't have you watched Dragon Ball Super, the new series that came out?
I'm not gonna lie. I think they kind of ruined it a bit, man. You know what I mean? Like for us older people, like, you know, I watch it my son sometimes, and he like loves it, yeah. But I'm saying to him, you don't get it. That's not the real Dragon Ball. Like, you know what I mean? If you go back to Dragon Ball Z, mate, it was so much like real back then. But I don't know. I still like Dragon Ball Super, but you must know Dragon Ball Z. What do you prefer, Dragon Ball Z or Super?
I think it's a generation thing, though, isn't it? So I love Dragon Ball Z. So Super, I watched the first like 2 arcs of it. So I think it's the Battle of Gods and the Frieza saga, and I was like, this isn't great. But then the arcs after that are quite good, actually. I think they probably saw it as a bit too childish. Those first couple of arcs, and they made it more serious. So there's the next few arcs after that, which I don't know if you've seen, but like the Future Trunks saga, Future Trunks comes back and stuff. They're quite cool. They're quite good. I thought they were pretty good.
They got better with it. Like, they brought out the Future Trunks, I thought, yes, now we're gonna get real. But even then, I felt like they could have made it a bit more better, a bit more intense. Like when they had the Vegito and that was like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like 2 seconds of Vegito, man. But
and we used to 15 episodes of it.
Literally, that's it, man. Like I said, enjoy the chat, man. Enjoy the chat with you. Before I go, I just want to say shout out to my coaches, John Pittman, Tony Borg, Scott Gibbons, my brother Shugs. You know what I mean? I want to say, like, you know what I mean, them guys do a lot of work with me. I thought about it, they put so much time into me. They guys deserve a lot of shout outs and a lot of prep, and everybody, the boxers get all the attention, but sometimes the coaches get attention as well. And shout out to my sponsors as well, Macro Meals, K-Lec, you know what I mean, electricians, RSG, you know what I mean, RSG and construction. It's a great thing, man. And they've been backing me all day, even through COVID and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They've always there backing me, whatever. So shout out them as well.
Well said. No, I think that's a really good point, making sure that everyone gets credit when credit's due. So no, fair play to you.
Shout out MTK as well. Shout out MTK. Gonna give you the opportunity as well, man. You know what I mean? It's all a team thing, bro. Get me, shout them out too.
100%. As I said, thank you again for taking time out of your day to come on. And really enjoyed the chat. I'm sure we'll catch up again soon. Maybe either close to the fight or after, if you're up for it, and we can catch up and talk. But again, man, thank you so much. Have a great day as well, and take care.
Nice one, bro. Take it easy. See you, man.